Good morning. This is Michael Bounds, and this is my final course project for NAS 125 Meteorology Spring Semester with Professor Charles Rowley. This project is about Earth as a system, and we're going to be talking about the four spheres that inhabit planet Earth. Earth is actually divided into four spheres, which makes it quite interesting to the average person. Most people think of the atmosphere when we talk about the sphere. That's the predominant view of Earth, because that's what we deal with. We deal with the air. What people don't really think of, though, is the biosphere. When we talk about the spheres, we're talking about the biosphere. We're talking about rocks, ground, anything on the ground, the crust, the mantle, anything of that nature. That makes up the biosphere. The atmosphere, obviously, is the air that we breathe. It's anything that takes place above the biosphere. The hydrosphere is Earth's water sources and what makes up the water supply. And finally, the geosphere is all life on Earth: human life, aquatic life, plant life, animal life, anything that makes up life on Earth. So these things all come together, and they make up the four spheres of the Earth. You can think of them as divided equally, but they're really not. The four spheres culminate into one. So, like in statistics, you can have multiple parts that equate to one. Nothing can be greater than one. It's between 0 and 1. So I think that this is the same thing with the spheres. You can have four spheres. You can have four parts that make up a whole, just like a fraction. It doesn't have to be equal parts, though. The geosphere is anything that is on Earth. It's the crust. It's the soil. It's the anything that makes up the solid Earth is part of the geosphere. You have the mantle, you have the core, and you have the crust. All of those things we learned in earth science back in high school, but those are all part of the geosphere. The atmosphere, now this is where it gets interesting. I used to think that the atmosphere was just air, but it's really not. It's air, it's gases, it's weather, it's anything that is around it's the gaseous envelope around the Earth. It's the atmosphere. It's what jets fly through. It's what weather is made up of. It's where, well, not what weather is made up of, but where the weather happens. The atmosphere is probably, in my opinion, it is the coolest one of them all, and it is the most it's the most used. The hydrosphere, Earth is made up of 71% water. When you look at pictures taken from space, such as the blue marble that was taken from Apollo 17 in December of 1972, the biggest thing that you see there is water. Yeah, you see continents, you see Earth, you see the geosphere, you see clouds, which make up the atmosphere, but the biggest part of that is the water. That's the hydrosphere. The hydrosphere is 71% of the Earth, and the oceans account for 97% of that. So hydrosphere is oceans, rivers, groundwater, glaciers, anything like that that has water to it is all part of the hydrosphere. And the biosphere is everything else. The biosphere is life. Bio, from biology, the study of life. The biosphere is where life happens. Human life, plant life, fish life, animal life, anything of that. All these spheres come together to form Earth. One sphere can't work without the other. The biosphere can't work without the hydrosphere, because the aquatic life can't live in non-aquatic places. Plant life would not work without the geosphere, because plants are in the ground. Soil works with plants. humans would not be able to live on Earth without the atmosphere because we breathe the air. The world culminates as one, but it has so many working parts to it that it's really unique. Take away one, and you take away life on planet Earth as we know it. So, when we talk about things such as climate change, or carbon dioxide, or CFCs, damaging the atmosphere, that's some scary stuff, because we need the atmosphere to survive. The atmosphere is how we live, and when that gets taken away, you not only threaten, the atmosphere, you threaten human existence, and that's very important. Anyways, this class was a lot of fun. I did learn a lot. I never really thought of how well these spheres play into each other. I never thought that all of them were so intricate. I just thought that Earth happened, and that the atmosphere is where weather happens, but it's not. The atmosphere is everything. It's where we breathe. It's where we get our gases from. It's where weather does happen, but it all plays a part and an integral role in the world. And that's what this class really taught me, was that everything that happens for a reason. And everything, weather can be produced by humans. The decisions that we make really will impact our future and what happens in the years to come. So thanks for putting on the class, Professor Rowley. And I hope that you have a great summer.